Hi, I'm James Shillinglaw. I'm here with Karen Yeates, who's Executive Vice President of Signature Travel Network, and we're going to talk technology. And Karen, if you don't know, is one of the leading forces in the technology side of travel agencies, especially here at Signature. And this is Insider Travel Report. Now, Karen, you gave a speech here at the Signature Owners Meeting where you talked a little bit about some of the challenges that agents face today, or I should say advisors face today. Let's talk about some of the things that you see now and on the horizon that travel advisors have to deal with.
So I think probably the biggest challenge that advisors have to deal with is that there are so many things in the marketplace, especially on the technology side, that they have to use to make one booking. So they may have 20 different booking engines or sources of content and information that they have to look at before they make an educated selection and recommendation to their client.
Okay.
And I think that is what is taking so much time for them, and they don't necessarily always have one place they can go find that.
And then, of course, we have so many different media that they have to deal with in terms of marketing their services. Right?
Yes.
Yeah.
So email, and there's print marketing, and
social media. Obviously.
Social media. Oh,
yeah.
Of course, that's been pushed itself into the place.
And then you talked a little bit about this new concept of artificial intelligence and how that's coming in. I still get a sense of how that's coming into the market yet and what will happen.
Yeah, I think that still remains to be seen, how it's going to be implemented in the marketplace. I think for the segment of business that we are in, which is really the high-touch, high-service leisure travel customer, they still want that human element, and I think that's one of the reasons that the travel advisor has pushed itself way back to the forefront also for people to use for their travel choices, because it's overwhelming for them, and they don't necessarily want or trust some machine to tell them what they should do.
Yeah, no, I've been to a number of seminars recently. They're trying to explain what AI is and what it's supposed to do, but I don't think we're quite there yet. And we've seen some sort of false starts with some people in terms of trying to get into the AI and try to use it in the travel agency field and travel booking, and it hasn't quite gotten there yet.
I think that they are finding a niche. So I don't think that it's something that can't be done. I just think that it's not necessarily in the segment of business that we're so concerned with. So I think that there's a place for it. I think there are certain elements or certain segments of the experience that can be done through AI. I think maybe it lends itself more towards some of these more transactional pieces, and then maybe for the service piece after the booking has already been made and there's standard questions that come in or changes that need to be made, those can be handled through AI, but the overall experience of working with a travel advisor I don't think can be replicated. It needs that human relationship and the human touch.
No, I would agree entirely. Now, how is Signature addressing some of these challenges? You mentioned this thing of having all these different booking systems you have to deal with. I know that you have a number of products, both new and old and updated, that you've introduced to kind of make it a lot easier for your travel advisors and your travel agencies, right?
Yes. So for many years we've had a booking engine for hotels for our consultants to use. That's a proprietary booking engine that we've built. And we are redoing that booking engine to update the style and update the process and make it a little more smooth. But we are also going to be adding comparative information there. So we'll be adding some third-party information like aggregators, and then we will also be adding the products of our wholesalers as well. And some of our wholesalers are working on some comparative products too, but the beauty of Signature is that we'll be able to add multiple wholesalers to our comparisons.
Now, what about for cruise booking? What do you offer in that area?
So right now for cruises, we have our own engine for loading our content and our promotions and information and lead prices, and we present those to the consultants. And then when they're ready to book, we do have Sabre Cruises integrated into Signet, which is a place that our agents use to find all of this information, and they can book through Sabre Cruises, but it doesn't pull all the pieces together of our own offers. So if we have a hosted sailing and we have a private car and driver on a particular sailing, that piece is dropped off once they enter Sabre Cruises. They're just booking the cruise at that point, and then they still have to go back and finish the final pieces on the product. So we're looking for a cruise booking engine that brings all those pieces together for us.
And when do you think you'll get that?
Well, the decision about who we want to work with will be made before the end of the year. And then depending on what needs to be done to bring it up to what we need it for will be determined after that point. So I don't know, it'll be a 2019 project for sure, but 2018 we will be making our partner selection.
And just to go back to hotels, I know that you sort of introduced a B2C booking tool. How has that gone for you so far?
So far, it's been a little bit bumpy just getting started because our members still have not necessarily integrated that into their websites yet. So it's one of those things where we made the product available to them and they still have to go back and change their websites. So I don't really have any definitive information to give you at this time as far as bookings that are coming through that source. Right. One of the things we have done now is added it to our e-marketing campaigns. So when emails come in, when we send out an email campaign for our agencies, the agents who have signed up for the B2C, they not only see the lead price and the promotion and the amenities that are available, their clients can click and actually see if there's availability on the dates they're looking for. Right. and book it. And it does give credit back to that consultant directly. So that consultant, the commission and all the information is tracked back to them. They're the ones notified when a booking is made. So it's not like it takes them out of the loop. It just gives their clients a way to make that one little step easier for them.
Well, we'll see how that progresses in 2019. And speaking in that vein, I mean, you were up there and talking, and you usually do. You have so many different innovations for your members. Tell us about 3 for 2019 and into 2018 into 2019 that you're really excited about and you really think will work for your signature members.
So I think the first is going to be our new synchronization process that we've been working on for quite a while that we're going to be rolling out soon. And that's the more granular synchronization. We were doing one large bulk synchronization overnight, and some of the pieces of information weren't making it through as quickly as they should, which
This is where they all go back to your database and you know what's going on every day, right?
Exactly, and all the time. And so if there's a change made to a client inquiry, so say right now we have e-marketing and we're doing a campaign for a certain cruise line. We're sending that campaign out. If we're looking at information from yesterday, because it's synced overnight, that client may have booked that cruise earlier that day, and now we're sending them a campaign the same day, later in the day. That's a misconnect, right? And so one day isn't good enough anymore. So we are moving to more granular synchronization process, so it's a more real-time update of information so that we're not misconnecting with their clients that way.
And what's the second one that you really think is going to work for next year?
The second one is really that, and this has been going on for a little bit of time, obviously, because we've seen it happening with instant messaging and people using their cell phones much more, like that whole mobile front. And so we have consultants who their clients want to communicate with them by their phone, but some of them are coming on iMessage. Some of them are traveling overseas and they want to use WhatsApp, and other ones are coming in using WeChat and so forth, or text, and they're traveling overseas. And so it's a really difficult thing for the consultants to deal with. The clients are texting from their phone, but the consultants are then using their own cell phones to try and answer those things, or they buy one seat on a platform that allows them to text over their computers and things like that, and it's become a larger challenge for them. The other problem with that is that they're not storing historical information about that communication, which you could get on email, of course. And so what we are doing is forming a partnership with a company that's allowing us to write our rules around it. We have the customer still sends it through the way they want to, right? They send it through their iPhone, through iMessage, whatever it may be. It comes into a cloud area. It's processed, and we say, okay, push this to the consultant, and they're using it through Signet on their desktop, right, through a web-based application. Or we'll have an app also for them to do it if they want to do it through an app. So they answer the client question, it pushes back through that cloud and then goes back to the right source where it started in the first place. So if that was iMessage, it's going back to iMessage to the client. But the agent, the advisor, is sitting at their desk just doing their same process. They never have to lean over to the side and take their phone out and try to use their thumbs to try and send a fast message back to the client. And it's storing all that information in one place where they can go see a history of their conversation, and then we're taking it the extra step and pushing that information back into client base or into their CRM product, so that they have truly one place with all communications from their clients in one location.
And when will this all be ready to go?
So I do have a partner selection for this. I can't disclose who it is right now because we're still figuring out all the financial pieces of it, but we will make an announcement about who the partner is before the end of the year, and we'll start integration in the first part of 2019.
Now this is different, or maybe an add-on to your program. You announced the Pocket Travel Consultant, right?
Yes, Pocket Travel Consultant is more about a digital itinerary and management of the itinerary pieces through the advisor. This is more a communications and service piece. And it's really easing that process for the consultant, not necessarily for the client. The client wants to come communicate with them, they're going to. It's what makes it easier for consultant and also for tracking that information back into the client profile.
Now, the third thing for 2019, 2018 that you really think is going to have an impact?
I would say is a selection of a cruise booking engine and finding a partner. Our consultants have told us loud and clear they want a product that gives them a really great promotions engine so they can see the promotions, they can see the pricing, they can put the pieces together and recommend the right promotion and price fit for their particular client. Because I think you heard during my presentation, the cruise lines are being very creative about how they're promoting things. They have different price points and different lead entry price points for the same cruise in the same category. It could be the same client in the same stateroom, but they are paying a different price depending on how they paid for it, how quickly they paid for it, what things are bundled into that, and so forth. And that makes it difficult for consultants to figure out which product to put their client in. And so right now they're having to do that through a slower process and having to go to multiple sources to get that done.
Well, Karen, always fascinating about what you're developing for your members, and always great to get your thoughts on what's happening in technology and travel today. Great to be with you again.
Good to see you too. Thanks, James.
I'm James Shillinglaw, and this is Insider Travel Report.